I wonder what these different colors on the Fatebinders mean. Is that just to differentiate them, or do they all have like different specialities? Let's give a quick chat to them. Ah, Kart, you return, unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. The Fatebinder of War claps you good-naturedly and with excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. Sweet. Oh, we got favor for just talking to him? Speak as you wish. I'd pay a boar's weight in rings to know your thoughts. Come, let us speak freely. I've claimed the spire at Vendor as well. So the court's whispers are true. This seems like a great way to get favor with Tunon. Just brag to these Fatebinders. So the court's whispers are true. Someday, I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. How were you singled out to be a Fatebinder? I cannot speak for the other Fatebinders, but I joined the court when I was still yet a boy, an impetus beyond reason. I had been imprisoned with a death sentence for the crime of desecrating corpses. Jesus. It was nothing so exciting as you're no doubt imagining. I was merely burning corpses that awaited burial. Before the local authority could see me to the gallows, the adjudicator claimed me a great talent waiting to be realized, needing only to be steered. It's a good thing he spared you. Aha! More favor! As I've said, the adjudicator saw within me something of rare value, as is true for us all. You as well were chosen for our great court, for which I am grateful. As the Fatebinder War, I rely heavily on your talents. I mean, my ego could use a bit of stroking, so thank you. Why did you burn the bodies? I mean, it's pretty obvious. To stop the spread of disease and everything. Yeah, that's what I said. Let's talk about something else. Anything else I can get some favor from. I would hear of your past victories. Have you not yet tired of my tales, Kart? I do admit I never tire of telling them. Very well then, let me champion the feats of my conquests. Let the glory of Kyros' reign fall on any ears that would hear of it. While they may not rival one's glorious feats in battle, I take pride in the small dispenses of justice I manage between my weekly drills and lectures. Just the other day, I pulled the teeth of a liar and strung them about his neck so that he might consider his words with more care in the future. Can you tell me about Tunon's mask? Masks? He has more than one? I thought the voices of Nerad had the masks. But I guess he has one mask? Does he change them? Like, if he's feeling happy one day, does he have a happy mask? A smiley mask? They can be rather unsettling, can't they? Even to one such as me. But I can assure you, the innocent need not fear their objective, emotionless gaze. What of the adjudicator's mask specifically would you like to know? Oh, so these are his masks. The silent face... That is what he was wearing now. Just for listening to people. Face of resolve. When he needs to do something bad, basically. Without emotion. Face that is no more. The face displeased Kyros and was destroyed. Dang. Have you ever seen him change his masks? Or, like, have you seen his true face? In a way that you or I would change our raiments? No, not as such. And yet I've seen the masks shift. They switch without the adjudicators or anyone so much as laying a hand on them. Cool. What about... Oh, no, never mind. Maybe we can get some quick favor from the other ones. Kart, I see you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vendor's Well are the matter of some discussion. So she is the Fatebinder of Balance. I wonder if these guys... If that's the war one, maybe that's the mage one, and this is the, like, in-between? And I'm, like, what? The justice? Or whatever? What can I do for you? What have you done while I've been gone? Tunon sent me on assignment here and there. I settled disputes between the locals when the adjudicator is otherwise occupied. Everything from trade disagreements to pushing Core's squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We're the swish swimming in Tunon's wake, picking up scraps along the way. I mean, you seem a lot less boastful than my other friend there. I have some concerns about the war. You're free to share them in my confidence. Our armies squabble at each other's throats. Divided we cannot win. I'm less concerned about the armies than the Archons themselves. There can be no order when mountains collide. Who would you see as champion? The disfavored. Might as well go with this. There's wisdom behind your reasoning. Wars are won through cunning, strategy, and strength. The disfavored are outmatched only in number on the battlefield. Considering their opposition, Ash and his soldiers more than make up the difference. Have you been spying on me? Don't act so surprised. It's her job. Of course. I have nothing to hide. Yet. Let's say farewell. What about you? Fatebinder, you return. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask. I'm feeling generous. What do you feel about the other Fatebinders? I would like to ask about the Fatebinder of War. Nunavald's keen, brash, and hardy braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if it skews towards rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times. What about the Fatebinder balance? Kaleo is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach, and she is perhaps Tunon's favorite. I call shenanigans. I am going to be his favorite. What about me? You follow an orderly path, regimented and organized. Perhaps too orderly for our station, but that is neither here nor there if you execute your job with wisdom. Be sure you don't stray to the path of chaos. Down that way lies rebellion. Interesting. But what are you the Fatebinder of? Is there like a title for you? There doesn't appear to be anything about that here. So let's say goodbye. I could go talk to either of these guys. Or I could go talk to Tunon. Let's quickly say hi to Aurora. How about Sevius? No? Nothing cool? Fatebinder? I'm ill at ease in this polished hall, but I admit that it's a reprieve from the battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here and represent his interests throughout the occupation, then I'll be up to the task. It can't be worse than our days in Lefian's Crossing. Joking aside, you were generous to grant the disfavored control over the city. Even the Iron Legion needs a break from the front every once in a while. Sweet, made your favor. So it pays to talk to everyone. Maybe I'm gonna get some bonus wrath if I talk to you guys? But sup, bit equip. No? Fatebinder, you are no stranger to Tunon's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. In spite of these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed. Fair warning, when you backed Ash, you were as good as signing your death warrant. But we shouldn't discuss such matter in a court of law. You'll make our time in the tiers an interesting one, won't you? Of course you will. Interesting. Now, Tunon awaits. Let's see what our mentor, I guess, has to tell us. Look at that, he's got a throne and everything. So why is he taking petitions over here? When he's got this giant-ass hall here?
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kyros' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
Yeah, and obviously I suspect the voices of Nerat, most of all. Now, his action so far has been pretty insubordinate. And there's the thing Tarek said, that the voices have been feeding her information. And there's the matter of Ash's son, who mysteriously died without being treated like the Vendrian Guard would normally. It was tortured to death, basically. That's not something they do.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the tiers.
I will make this my mission, Your Honor.
As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice. The disfavored seem the logical first step in your inquiry. The Legion holds you in some esteem, and Graven Ash has shown deference to the court in times past. No doubt the disfavored will be rife with accusations and evidence against the voices of Nerat. Graven Ash is a noble man, but never underestimate his capacity for deception. A wise general succeeds by knowing when to be unreadable to the enemy. You should, of course, speak with the Scarlet Chorus and gather their testimony, but it stands to reason that most in the chorus would sooner brag about a pauldron fashioned from your skull than entertain your questions. Do not regret killing the rabble that impede your investigation. They will be easily replaced.
If Graven Ash were guilty, I'd imagine all his soldiers would lie to him. They seem very, very loyal to him. But is their loyalty or Graven Ash greater than Kyros? It's a... I mean, how long did he have command? The voice of Nerat spoke of the other one, the first one, or the last one. I'll speak to the Archon of War.
Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel.
I'll do that.
The disfavored have made use of the Sage's network of dovecotes and messenger birds as they come under capture. I've heard multiple claims of strategic communications gone missing. The Sages are broken, their citadel in flames, but they were not slaughtered to the last. Some of their numbers still congregate around the smoking husk of their burning library. If they have been reading disfavored communications, learn what they learned, then execute them. The Oathbreakers were reported to be using iron armaments, more than they might acquire from looting what few disfavored they killed. Any iron in the tiers not rusted through was made by forge-bound hands in Lethian's Crossing. Between craftsman and quartermaster, someone let iron fall into enemy hands. Investigate this matter and bring the thieves to justice. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
Though it's impossible to gauge from his expression, Tunon seems more wary than usual. Say nothing.
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kyros, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I am in a privileged position to accomplish incredible deeds.
It pleases me that you grasp your role, as long as you temper it with a sense of duty. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kyros' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title. Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Understood. I will be known as a champion of justice, however dark it might be.
Good. It falls to us to set a new standard for these southern barbarians. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kyros' name.
That sound totally freaked me out when he rapped his gavel against the floor. Also, this has been bothering me. Let's just get rid of these. Lots of tutorial thingies that I don't need. Yes, 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 yes. Go away. Jesus, how many are there? I think I've learned all of these things. And they are kind of similar to the systems we've seen before.
Won't happen.
There we go. That's the last of them. Now, has that unlocked any new stuff? Also, can I say anything else? You return. It is gratifying to see that the war has not caused you to forget your roots. What is it you wish to know? Tell me about Bled and Mark, the assassin that works for Kyros. Or for Tunon, actually. He's basically an assassin. How did he earn his title of Archon of Shadows? His work away from the courts takes Bled and Mark to the dark places of the world, the tiers and Northern Empire alike. Over time, shadows become his domain. They cloak him, protect him, and even fight for him if the need arises. It is said that Bled and Mark can travel to any place where shadows can cast. Only he would know this for certain. Is he like your personal servant, or does he serve Kyros? Your question is flawed. We are all servants of Kyros. The Archons are also agents of their own interests. Those chosen few empowered to bring order to the world in accordance with Kyros' peace. At present, Bled and Mark is my vassal, and I his patron. The relationship is not so different from Graven Ash and Cairn, the fallen Archon, or Voices of Nirad and his songbird Siren. Such partnerships and apprenticeships are common. They provide mutual benefit to the Archons involved, as well as a measure of oversights. Cool. Let's talk about matters of law. What do we have here? Discuss the old walls, Magician's Folly. Am I beholden to these laws? Of course I am. I'll probably get wrath if I ask that. So let's go for now. Now, has anything opened up with the Fatebinders and the faction representatives here? They might. No. But these guys probably have something, because they were gonna have tips on my investigation into the Archons. We speak again. So let us speak genuinely and at length with one another. Now, of what matter would you have us discuss? What? Actually, there might be something here. Tell me more about Kyros' armies, our allies. Tell me about the Scarlet Chorus. Scarlet Chorus hails from every corner of every realm. They conscript indiscriminately. There's like a anarchistic hierarchy. And they have a lot of numbers. And there's the blood chanters who work under them. They just take knowledge from everyone. What about the disfavored? The Iron Tip. Graven Ash protects. So basically, if you haven't caught on already, Graven Ash has an ability that lets him mystically link with all his soldiers. So he knows when they get injured or killed. Actually, didn't he say something about, like, if he's nearby, they can only get seriously injured, but never die. But if they're too far away, he can sense them dying, basically, is what I think he said. And the Voices of Nirad has his telepathy and his songbird, which charms people with her song. Siren, I think. Regards, cards. Has anything happened while I was away? There's whisper that can grow disloyal. Yeah, alright. And you. Probably nothing as well. No. Alright. I think we're ready to head on out. And we did unlock the new disfavored camp. Oh! That must be him! Bled and Mark! Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Wait, is he like a friend? Bled and Mark, Archon of Secrets, or Shadows, rouses from the faraway stare, turning to face you with a wry smile. Though he stands still, he seems to sift in and out of the shadows that shroud him. Here you threw your rings on Graven Ash's side. Not a bad bet to pick the Archon of War. But tell me the truth. Did you go with Ash because it seemed like the right thing to do, or because supporting the Voices was a worse option? I mean, what sane creature would trust the Voices of Nirad? One does like to win a battle every once in a while. At least the Voices of Nirad isn't consumed by grief or hesitation like some Archons I know. So I gained average fear with verse. Don't mistake him. The Archon of Secrets thrives on distrust. When everyone believes you're lying, speaking the truth is a fine blade with which to cut your enemy. All that matters is that the Edict of Execution was stayed. Those stationed at Vendrian's Well should be thanking you for their lives. Now, I assume you're off to meet with Ash. But first, you and I need to have a little chat. I'm listening. Everyone's keeping an eye on you, because you did something nobody has done before. Got a guess as to what that might be? I mean, I am the first Fatebinder to proclaim 2 edicts. I guess that's true. And the first to resolve an edict before the consequences come to pass? But the spire might be the one that's the most important. You're not wrong. That was definitely a shock. But I doubt it's the sole reason you've made the tears tremble. Proclaiming an edict isn't new. Neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict, but you're the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. In one fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. And glare silently, why not? I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you're in now that you've put yourself on the map. Sticking with the disfavored is a smart idea, kid. At least smarter than getting mixed up with the Archon of Secrets. You'll never really be one of them, but if you value Ash's warriors, they'll serve you the best they can. Thanks for the advice. The Archon of Secrets shrugs... Goddammit, the Archon of Shadows! The Voices is the Archon of Secrets. He shrugs at you in farewell, but his golden eyes are alight with interest as he watches you. Interesting. I thought it was gonna be more like a stern, very dark person, but he seems like an older brother type character. But let's be off. So, we should have unlocked Iron Hearth. So that's where the, where Ash is right now. Oh, we can actually, we have to unlock these. Areas currently inaccessible. I wonder where the voices is hold up. Sort of, oh, I like that. Look at Tunon. The, cinematic type thing said that they went out to sea, right? So we might meet them over in Haven, maybe? At some point? Or they might come to Blade's Grave. Because they're on the coastline. Yeah, alright. But while we're here, do we want to go to Sunset Spire? Or do we want to get to the camp? I mean, there might be a quest to take up here before we head to the Spire. So let's head to Iron Hearth next. However, that is going to be a tale for another day. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share the videos around. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.